What up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. Cautionary message for y'all real quick, man. No matter how good you think you got it, no matter what your position in life is, and no matter how long you have had that position, don't ever make the mistake of thinking that that position can't get snatched from you. Especially when the position has been given to you by somebody other than yourself. I was watching where all of those ESPN analysts got laid off, if that's the word they want to use. You know, sometimes the word layoff implies that okay, we just laying you off for a time and we gonna bring you back. Really, they got fired. They got let go. Among them was Jalen Rose. Among them was Keyshawn Johnson, Jeff Van Gundy, and Max Kellerman. Those were the bigger names. But really, um, I think it was like 20 something more people, 20 something more analysts that worked for the network that got laid off. And this is an indication of how these corporations in America, in my opinion, these corporations in America, you know, they hurting, man. Um, the economic climate in the United States of America, even in the entertainment industry, even in the industries that you look at and say, well, man, they should be generating um, tons and tons of revenue, and they are, but they ain't at the same time. So some of the highest profile names at that company, ESPN, which is owned by Walt Disney, they got laid off. So you got an established corporation like Walt Disney, and they clearly letting you know they hurting because they cutting. They cut. They had announced months ago that they needed to cut back. I think like I don't want to misquote, but I think some thousands. I'm like I didn't know they had that many people working there, but apparently they do. But the high profile names. Like, you know, you look at Jeff Van Gundy, it's like, well, you know what, this dude, he was the guy on the NBA Finals every year with Mark Jackson. And certain people, you can make the mistake if you're not careful of thinking, well, he's untouchable. Nah, they're not going to get rid of him. They're not going to get rid of him. And they didn't disclose what his salary is, but they said his salary is in the millions, you know, annually. Jalen Rose was making, from what I hear, about $3 million a year, and I think Max was making about $1 million a year. I don't know about everybody else, but you know they knocking off. They knocking off the big salaries. They cutting into that. You know, so everybody's now like, ooh man, what about Stephen A? What about Steve? It's like, well, he's still um, a cash cow. He's more. He at this point he's the face of that network. It's as crazy as that sounds, but he's the face of that network. So the hammer can drop on him, but it wasn't going to be in that first wave like that. It wasn't going to be immediate like that. But the purpose of me making this video is for you to look at your situation and us to look at our situation and to understand that, hey man, you know, America is a sinking ship, and this economy and this whole system is collapsing, and we can't ever get comfortable sitting in somebody else's seat, laying in somebody else's bed, lounging on somebody else's couch, drinking out of somebody else's cup. You better make sure you get your own chair, your own couch, your own bed, and your own cup. That way, um, you control the destiny of yourself and your family when these hammers start dropping. Because this just is a small example on what's to come all around this nation at some point as this country starts to fall and starts to collapse or continues to be in free fall and collapse. You'll start seeing these type of shutdowns on everyday jobs. So pre-planning is the thing to do. You know, putting yourself in a position. See, a lot of times the mistake we make is that when things are going really good for us, we we just dismiss a time or possibility of things slowing down. We just, hey man, things are doing great. So we don't put nothing to the side. We don't plan for a day when it slows up. We don't plan for the possible day when it dries out. And then when it does dry out, you have nothing to show for it. Or you find yourself scrambling because you haven't created a nest egg that you can kind of function off of until you figure out what the next thing is that you want to do or need to do until you can get to the next spot. And when you work for certain companies, certain people, um, you can be lulled into a false sense of comfort and thinking that, oh, man, they love me. I'm good, because you're talking about people who have been at this company for 15, 20, 18, however long. I mean, you're talking about decades or more, you know, and that makes it easy to fall into a comfort pocket. Man, ain't nothing promised. Doesn't matter how long you've been there, how much of a face and a known personality, man. This is an example. See, you look at something, that's why people used to always punch the biggest dude. You know, that's why the saying always was, you hit the biggest dude, because when you punch the biggest dude, you ain't got to worry about the little one. So people see the big one fall, and it's like, ooh. So it's the same thing. When you see these big names start to fall and get placed on a chopping block, man, you better recognize that, hey, I really don't have a chance. And start making your preparations just in case, if you're working. Because most of the people in the world are working for somebody else. That's just the reality of it. But we barely getting by under those circumstances. So start building for yourself. Start doing for yourself. Start thinking about yourself and your family, and never get comfortable and relaxed. No matter how high up you think you are, they will let you go. All right, man, it's your big brother K-Rino. I'll catch y'all later on. Peace.